meteorologist Chase Jones.
Well, I was just talking to Zoe about how I just drone on about the weather, watching it push out of the area just in time for Steven's birthday. But again, looking at another wonderful sunset as we make our way closer towards the end of July. Now, I keep talking about his birthday because I really appreciate all of the hard work he does around the KSAN Storm team and everything else that he does, including around football season, going back and forth, getting all that good coverage. Trust me, he does a lot of work behind the scenes, including over the weekend. Now, temperatures over the last 24 hours, including this weekend, making their way from those 90s. I'm still dealing with allergens all the way down into those lower 70s, a good spike into those upper 70s, a good run into those lower 90s, and we're cooling off pretty quickly underneath these clear skies. And by tomorrow, making a good run at those triple digits. I tell you, we keep practicing hot weather safety because summer is not over yet, even though we only have a couple more weeks to go. 81 in San Angelo, everybody else in a combination, not really, of those lower 80s across the entire area. Beautiful weather to see August Pfluger make his way in. 87 in Robert Lee, 81 down there in Junction. 6 degrees across the entire Concho Valley, but a pretty calm night and pretty quiet weather across the entire Concho Valley. Dew points are still down there in those 60s, while humidity indices are also down there in those 50s. So we've risen about 20%. That's average for the summertime, this time of the year, and overnight. Now, we're still tracking the moisture tracker as we really see a lot of this cold weather trying to make its way in from the northwest. Now, by tomorrow, we'll be somewhere around those mid-60s overnight, but gradually warming up back into those lower 70s by the end of the week. But cooler weather is right behind it because more and more rain is on its way. But it's not tropical in nature at all. I think we're in the clear as far as severe weather is concerned. Upper level pattern is going to show you the high pressure making its way from the eastern side of the United States, where they're seeing 90-degree temperatures all the way up into New York, finally ridging off towards the west, where we could still see some of those triple-digit temperatures before we start to cool off. Take a good look up towards the northwest. A lot of strong, powerful storms will continue to rip through this area, including overnight, where South Dakota and parts of Minnesota have continuously seen tornadoes this late in the season. Now, water vapor imagery has been tracking this monster mesoscale convection complex, or a ginormous storm across this area. As we start to see some of that overnight cooling around New Mexico, we've been tracking the circulation, trying to get more and more organized as they continue to see flash flooding. But down here in the Concho Valley, we're getting a better idea of the overall high pressure sitting over the entire eastern United States. We take you into severe weather outlook down at the surface, and it's really just been a bullseye right in this area all day, but getting a better idea of the high pressure sitting over the Concho Valley. We take it down to the surface because we want to get a good idea of all these alerts as a result of all this information being smashed together, seeing a little bit of severe weather around parts of Oregon, and then of course across Nebraska, South Dakota, in that same bullseye region. But down here in the state of Texas, calm weather just off the western side. Now, the Futurecast is going to show you where that moisture is really just going to be hanging out off towards the western coast. A lot of that high pressure really just keeping it off towards that region, really not making its way down, getting a better idea of the surface trough or the lower elevations that hang out in this area. But as we get closer towards the weekend, going to see a little bit of low pressure, give it that extra fuel to try to make its way down into the panhandle. You see the severe weather around Oklahoma. That's because that high pressure is that strong, but you see a little bit of circulation try to form its way around Brownsville by the end of the week, so we're on the lookout for a little bit more moisture. Tonight, though, all the way back down into those 70s. We're going to see how quickly we get there. Then tomorrow, a good run at those triple digits for Steven's birthday, but I promise you, we're going to hold on to those warm temperatures for only a couple of days, because take a good look, we're going to drop all the way back down into those mid-60s. Here comes that cool weather. Then we're going to warm right back up for the end of July, but as soon as August starts, right back down into those lower 90s with those overnight lows just hanging out in those lower 70s. Stay tuned. I'll have more up at You're watching KSAN News at 10.